Hello everyone. Today in this video let us continue the solutions from exercise 3.1 chapter number 3 pairs of linear equations in two variables from grade 10 NCERT book. Okay, coming to the question number 5. Half the perimeter of a rectangular garden whose length is 4 meters more than its width is 36 meters. Find the dimensions of the garden. So he has given length is 4 meters more than its width and he is asking to find the dimensions of the garden, that means length and width of the garden. So and also given half the perimeter of the garden is 36 meters. Length is 4 meters more than the width and half of the perimeter of that garden is 36 meters. These two things are given. You need to find the length and width of the garden. So for that let us assume that width of the garden as x. So let width of the rectangle be x. Write down length of the rectangle as y. Now, as it is given that length is 4 meters more than its width, we can write it as y is equal to x plus 4. Y is the width of the length of the rectangle, which is more than width, 4 meters more than width. So, x plus 4. Now, coming to also given that half of the perimeter of the garden is 36 meters. So, half of the perimeter of garden is 36 means first of all we need to know what is the perimeter formula. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? Which is 2 into L plus B, right? So half of the perimeter means half of 2 into L plus B, which is equal to 36. So if you cancel out 2 and 2, you will get length plus breadth is 36 meters. So now length and width are x and y, we know that. So let us write therefore x plus y is equal to 36. Now we are going to find graphically the equations of these two graphs of these two equations and find the intersection point of those two, which gives you length and width x and y. Okay, let us assume the values for x and y by taking y is equal to x plus 4 equation, and let us take if x is equal to 0, 0 plus 4 is 4. Next, if x is equal to 8, y value will be 12, 8 plus 4, and if x is equal to 12, if you take 12 plus 4, which is 16. So now the points to be plotted on the graph are 0, 4, 4, 8 and 12, 16. Okay, let us draw for these points a graph. And meanwhile, we will take out the points for the other equation also, which is x plus y is equal to 36. And let us find value, put any values for x and find the corresponding values of y like this. Let us put x is equal to 0. 0 plus what is 36? 0 plus 36 is 36. So coming to, if x is equal to 36, y will be 0. 36 plus 0 is 36. So next, take x is equal to 16. 16 plus what is 36? You check. So 6 plus 16 plus 20 gives you 36. So the points to be plotted are 0, 36, 36, 0 and 16, 0. Now let us take a graph. I am taking the values on the x-axis, y-axis are 4 multiples of 4. And now let us plot the points of first equation first. 0, 4. So it lies on y-axis. 4, 8. Sorry, 8, 12. And next 12, 16. Now draw a graph, draw a straight line connecting these points. You will get a straight line which is y is equal to x plus 4. Now coming to the other points, first 0, 36. It lies on y-axis again, 0, 36. 36, 0. It lies on x-axis. And 16, 20. 16 on the x-axis, 20 on the y-axis. So it exactly lies on the straight line, previous line. So okay, join them, you will get a straight line which is the equation x plus y is equal to 36. Now what is the intersection point here? 16, 20 is the intersection point for both. So therefore we can understand that as intersection point is 16, 20, we can say that x value is 16 and y is equal to 20. What we assumed in the beginning? X is width and y is length. So length of the garden is 20 meters, y value, and width of the garden is 16 meters, which is x value. Now coming to the question number 6. Given the linear equation 2x plus 3y minus 8 equal to 0, write another linear equation in two variables such that the geometrical representation of the pair so formed is intersecting lines. So and second one parallel lines, third one coincidental lines. So for example, first one we will take first. In intersecting lines, you want the two equations to be intersecting. So the given equation is first of all 2x plus 3y minus 8 is equal to 0. So you can understand, you can compare this with a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0, and let us assume the second equation what we are going to find, another linear equation, as a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. So now if you compare the first equation with the given equation, we have a1 is equal to 2, b1 is equal to 3, and even c1 is equal to minus 8. Okay, we need to find a2, b2, c2 such that the condition is for intersecting lines, the two lines to be intersecting, the condition for that is a1 by a2 should not be equal to b1 by b2. Okay, we need to choose a2 and b2 in such a way that if you divide a1 by a2, means 2 by a2 should not be equal to 3 by b2. Okay, you can choose any numbers for a2 and b2 such that these two fractions should not be equal. Okay, and moreover c1 is minus 8. You need not consider about this. You can choose c2 anything because there is no such rule for c1 by c2 to be there. Either they may be equal or they may be different, no problem. So c2 you can choose any number. Even a2 and b2 also you can choose anything, but the fractions 2 by a2 and 3 by b2 should not be equal. So let me choose a2 as, for example, 1. So that 2 by 1 it becomes, which is not equal to, I'll choose b2 as some 3. So what it becomes? 2 by 1 definitely not equal to 3 by 3, right? 2 by 1 is 2, 3 by 3 is 1. So they are not equal. So you can choose a2 as 1 and b2 as 3, and c2 you can choose any number. For example, let us take minus 5. So our equation you can write, which is intersecting to the given equation, as x plus 3y. X means a2 is 1 here. 1x plus 3y minus 5 is equal to 0. So this is the equation which you can, if you draw a graph for this equation, they both be intersecting at one point. Okay, now coming to the second one, parallel lines. Now the condition for parallel lines be a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2. Okay, the condition for the two lines to be parallel is a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. Remember that. So a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 should be equal, but they should not be equal to c1 by c2. Means you need to consider here c1 and c2 also. So according to our given equation, 2x plus 3y minus 8 is equal to 0. In this, let us take a1 as 2, b1 as 3 and c1 as minus 8. Okay, now you need to assume like a2, b2 and c2 such that this condition holds good. Okay, now let us take 2 by a1 should be equal to 3 by b1. So b2. So this is a2. 2 by a2 should be equal to 3 by b2, which should be equal to minus 8 by c2. Okay, sorry, which should not be equal to minus 8 by c2. Now coming to, let us assume a2, b2 and c2 according to this condition. Okay, now let us take, if a2 is equal to, suppose I'll take 4 for example. So that my 2 by a2 becomes 2 by 4, which is equal to 1 by 2. So I want 3 by b2 also should be same as this. Okay, so I'll take 3 by b2 also should be equal to 1 by 2. So what is that number that b2 gives you if you put in b2 place, which gives you 1 by 2. So if I take, like, I want to make the numerator same, into 3 into 3. So if I make into 3 into 3, I'll get numerator as 3 and denominator as 6, which is equal to our b2. So if a2 is equal to 4, my b2 should be equal to 6. So that a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 will be equal to half. And minus 8 by c2, what about the condition for third one? Minus 8 by c2 should not be equal to half. Okay, you need to choose c2 value, any number, but it should not be equal to half. So let us take c2 as, can be any number other than 16 actually. So if it is 16, c2 can, if it is 16, like if you multiply with 8 and with 8, I'll get c2. If they are equal, it should be 16. So it should not be equal to 16. So other than 16, minus 16 otherwise. You can take any value for c2. So let me take c2 as minus 9. So my equation would become, taking these values of a2, b2 and c2, I can frame the equation as a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0 as 4x plus 6y minus 9 equal to 0. So this is a equation which when graphed, this equation and our given equation, these two becomes parallel lines. They become parallel lines, so that if you can understand, a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are equal, and whereas c1 by c2 are not equal, right? We can come to the question, 3 coincident lines. When can be the lines can be coincident? The given lines are coincident when a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 and also c1 by c2 also should be equal here. So the condition for two lines to be coincident are a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 and c1 by c2 all should be equal to each other. So already we found half of the part here for the parallel lines where a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are equal. The same answer should come for c1 by c2 also. So now coming to once again, a1 is here 2. When we compare a1, this one, a1x plus b1y minus c1 is equal to 0 to this. a1 is equal to 2. b1 is equal to 3, c1 is equal to minus 8. Now let us assume a2, b2, c2 values such that they all equal. Okay. Now if I take like previous example, if I take a2 as 4, so my a1 by a2, 2 by 4 should be equal to 1 by 2, right? I am taking a1 by a2 which is equal to 2 by 4. If I assume a2 is equal to 4, my a1 by a2 becomes 2 by 4 which is equal to half. So the same half I want to make it for b1 by b2 also. So because they have to be equal. So already we know b1 is 3. 3 by b2 should be equal to half. So when can it be happened? If you multiply numerator and denominator with 3, numerator becomes 3 and denominator becomes 6. So our b2 should be 6. So if our a2 is 4, our b2 should become 6 as we seen before example also. Now here c1 by c2 also should become half now. Already we know c1 is minus 8 by c2 should be equal to half. So for what value of c2 becomes half? So let us multiply numerator with minus 8 so that it becomes equal to minus 8. And if I multiply with minus 8, the denominator also I should get minus 16. So my c2 should be minus 16. So if c1 by c2 should be equal to half means c2 should be minus 16. So my equation which is a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0 happens. If I substitute these all things, 4x plus 6y, c2 value is minus 16. So minus 16 equal to 0. So this is our second equation where the two given lines are becoming coincidental lines. The lines become coincident. So where a1, a2, b1 by b2, c1 by c2 are all equal with this equation of this line. So coming to the question number 7. Now the seventh question is, draw the graphs of the equations x minus y plus 1 equal to 0 and 3x plus 2y minus 12 equal to 0. Determine the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle formed by these lines and the x-axis and shade the triangular region. So what we need to do first? We need to draw the graphs of these two equations, and these two equations will intersect at one point, and when they are extended, those two lines will meet the x-axis also in two more points. So a triangle is formed. So we need to find the coordinates of that triangle as well as you need to shade the triangular region also. Okay, so let us start with the first equation. Take the first equation and let us find the suitable points satisfying that equation. And we'll start x minus y is equal to, x minus y plus 1 equal to 0, from which we can write minus y is equal to sending x and y 1 to the other side, you'll get minus x minus 1. Next, making all the terms positive, y is equal to x plus 1 you will get. Now take suitable values for x and y. So if we take x is equal to 0, y equal to 1. If we take x equal to 1, y will be equal to 2. If we take x is equal to 2, you will get y value as 3. Okay, now the points to be plotted for this equation are 0, 1, 1, 2 and 2, 3. Now let's take the second equation, 3x plus 2y minus 12 equal to 0. From this, let us take 2y outside and send 3x and minus 12 to the other side. So it gives you 12 minus 3x. Now coming to y is equal to 12 minus 3x by 2. Right? Now let us take the values of x and y. So put x is equal to 0, you will get y value as 6. Put x equal to 2, you will get y value as 3, and put x equal to 4, we will get y value as 0. Now the 3 points which satisfy this equation are 0, 6, 2, 3 and 4, 0. Let us plot these points in the graph. Now coming to the graph, here let us once again write all the points what to be plotted here. 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3 for the first equation, and 0, 6, 2, 3 and 4, 0 are the points for the second equation. Let's start plotting them. First equation points are 0, 1, and second point is 1, 2, and third point 2, 3. So let's connect them with a line. The equation is x minus y plus 1 equal to 0. Now coming to the second set of points, first let us take 0, 6 which lies on the y-axis again, and second point 2, 3 which is lying on the same point which we have already taken, and the other point is 4, 0 which lies on the x-axis. Let's also join this equation, these 3 points. So now we will get these two equations, two lines will meet the x-axis at 3 points A, 2, 3, that is 2, 3, and here B, minus 1, 0, and this side C, 4, 0. So these are the 3 coordinates which we get after joining these two lines to the x-axis. Okay, this is the triangle ABC formed. Now let's shade this. This is the shading. Now let us write once again the coordinates of the 3 vertices formed by these two equations, and the x-axis are A, 2, 3, B, minus 1, 0 and C, 4, 0. Okay, right. Thank you.